So this is my Maximilian Endless Baths tutorial. I just started a clan, so if anybody decides that they would like to join a guild because they're not in one, or they're in one that's inactive, then I'll happily take requests. Right now I'm playing this game every day, a couple times for doing the dailies and some of the other shenanigans that they have available. I've only got a couple of characters unlocked because I've been buying other things, trying to upgrade whichever traps are important. I normally get 4 stars. On occasion, I get 5 stars, and I do it solo. Part of the tutorial for the loadout, these are your magic items. I don't have any really good ones, so I just grab these ones. They're beginning ones. For Endless Baths, I get the Sun Guardian or the Dragon Guardian. The Ion Guardian, I think, is the one you start with, and he fits nicely in each one of the 3 shields that are there for Guardian spots. I like the Grinder Trap. It does a really good job against walking enemies. I like the Boom Barrel Roller Trap. I put that on the ceiling so that it drops down on top of people. And if you don't have these yet, that's okay. Instead of the Boom Barrel Roller, then you might want to consider either an Arrow Trap or the Wall Chopper. Because I'm going to be playing Endless, and I'm probably not going to get wiped out in the first 3 rounds, then I get the Vicious Tar. Even though it costs a lot more, it's a lot slower, and the slow lasts a lot longer. And the problem with going solo is that there's almost no crowd control, so the monsters usually end up into the throne room or the rift area, I don't know, like level 15, 18-ish. The Great Wall Barricade is important because you have a limited number of traps. That one only counts as 1 trap, but covers 2 squares. It's a little bit less efficient, but it covers a lot more space, thus giving you more options to do damage. The Arcane Bowling Ball I enjoy greatly. I upgraded that one just this morning, along with a couple of these other ones. And I got that one to do more damage to frozen enemies because I'm using the Ice Vent Trap as my main room crowd control. I like the Ceiling Ballista because it shoots from a long ways away. I thought about changing that to one of the ones that only targets big monsters or bosses, but then when there's no big monster or boss, then it wouldn't be firing, so I'll just one that shoots everybody. Grandmother Eaten by Troll. After about level 18, you start seeing trolls all the time. It's important to have that one in its slot. If you don't have matching slots, then grab whichever ones are available to you for the main effect. But this one's more damage to trolls, and primary attack damage bonus is 5% to all other monsters. Wall Building PhD. This is so that if any of my walls take damage, then they start regenerating health. It takes a little bit of time, but it could save a wall that normally would not have been saved. Coin generated by combos. I try and get a lot of combos just right from the beginning. It helps you level faster, helps you gain money faster, and it helps you gain your Unchained bar faster. And this one, I don't have a slot that matches it, so I want more damage when I'm above half health, since I'm full life almost the entire time. And if it matched, then I'd have cooldown, so my spells would come up sooner. If I had another player, then I would swap out one of my traps and take something that does a buff, so you can do extra damage. The second player, if somebody decides that they would join me and they think that might be fun, then by all means just send me a message and I'll happily add you to the clan or join the clan. And the second person, you would be ceiling traps. and stunnings, so that we can get that going. Oh, and buffs, because buffs are good. Unless, of course, your traps are better than mine, and then I'll swap out a trap and take a buff. Now I'm ready to start. And this is where it gets super exciting, because I'm aiming for at least 4 stars. Oh, the loading screens. Don't forget to bring consumables. I don't use them. I use them in the PvP battles, but I don't use them for endless. Because right now I'm just trying to collect a bunch of skulls. Now if you don't have really good traps in the beginning, at level 2, the little runners come out of there, and they're tough to kill. So you drop a wall trap here, so that they're forced to run past. You get a wall grinder right here, and that pretty much takes care of them. We'll put the Sun Guardian down. He makes me giggle. Put this one right there. This is, if you don't have barrel traps, then you can put arrow traps up here, and they work very well. There's enough room for 3 up on top.
I'll never notice this. Whoopsie, almost hurt myself on that. I'll just leave this right here.
The enemy has opened a minion portal.
So this is here to slow down anybody who comes out. These are going to freeze whoever comes through, and the barrel traps explode. I don't know, the damage seems to get damage about this far out. And of course, if the monsters are frozen, then they'll eat a couple of different hits on that. If you have a melee guy, be kind to the other players. You can stand right here in front and block all their shots, and it's just kind of rude. Max has the 3 coins per second thing, and if you think that you're going to need a lot of money, then I guess you could take that, but I get the one to increase my attack speed. Now there's room here for 2 of these bowling balls, and they're quite handy.
I'll never notice this. Twice, cut once.
Takes a little while to get good at building between pauses. So if you're really brand new, then don't worry about it. It'll come with time. Here come the little runner guys. You know, you've got a pretty good build when they get frozen, and they get trapped and killed right there. If you take a look at the bottom left-hand corner, it's going to show that I've only got 9 traps placed. Most of the floor area in the front room is pretty it's about, I don't know, what, half full right now? The other bonus to having the barrels that are coming down from up top there is that if you get the monsters that come down and they just stop in the doorway and start shooting, then they don't last very long. I'm gonna sell that guy right now. 1 and 2. Now the ceiling ballistas, I put them on these things right here. And I do one side before I do the other. and that's going to help me get higher combos. I left the level thing up there for a minute so that everybody could take a minute to study it. I like to increase the radius of Stunning Bolt if I'm going to be the crowd control guy. If I'm not going to be the crowd control guy, then I'm going to take the damage for in their faces. Now that you've got some time, hooray for Wave 3 pause.
I'll just leave this
I put the wall down here so that when monsters come through here, they're going to run down here and say, ah, I don't like that, and they follow this across. They can sometimes get hit by this a little bit more. It also breaks up the flow. If you get wall smashers, the wall smashers are usually killed by the time they get there. And that's going to save that for a long time. Put this one right here at the corner. And the next one goes right after it. So there's enough room here for a floor trap. And the floor trap will go here and here. Start the thing even though I'm far away. That way you get a higher score. You know your build's working okay when the monsters come down and they die before the second set comes through. Here come the first round of wall breakers, and they don't get very far. Increases damage to stunned minions. Absolutely.
This looks neat.
I put a slow square here, just so that my guardian gets a little bit more time before he takes any damage. Play the music. There's an achievement that you get for keeping your what's it called? Running Unchained for a long time. So if you're a new person and you play with me, then whenever that bar fills up, then just fire it off. It's not really important until, I don't know, wave 10 or so. Maybe I just wasted it. Maybe I didn't, because that was a 6x, 4x combo.
Whoopsie. Almost hurt myself on that. That looks like it hurt.
Have you stand here right in the middle? You're going to block your shots of your own guy, and he's not going to be able to kill anything. Ah, hooray, the boss minion comes down here. Now, I can't stun that guy. However, if you fire your stun off, it hits everybody behind him. Now, the rocks explode, and they turn into little guys. So if you don't have a good way to stop those in this room, then you're going to want to break them up. And then make sure you've got a good wall grinder. You're going to want to push them to one side here so you can wall grind them up there. Wall grinder here.
Twice, cut once.
So now we've got a good running lane here for monsters. Turn this sideways. And you leave 1 square's worth.
I'll just leave this right here. They'll never notice this.
Now while this looks a little silly, it's going to make total sense when the bad guys start to pour through here. Now this Guardian, he's not going to take any damage ever, because the monsters are going to run down here and they're going to think, oh, I'm close to the rift, I can get in, and they're just going to keep running past it, and he's just going to keep shooting at him the whole time. He is for sure your buddy. Most of the work, for the early part anyway, is going to take place up in here. I like trying to take this guy out early. He can hurt your Guardian. Takes a little bit of time to get those done. Especially if you get a wrong guess and you shoot them and there's like 5 of them running around, it gets irritating. Now if you can stand next to your Guardian, he'll heal you. Slows minions affected by in your faces. Chains to an additional target is the one that I always take. Put a grinder here. And I put that right there. The reason I get chains to another target, even though it's not very much, as you come through here, you'll see that there's lots of little guys. And the traps are hurting them, but not quite killing them, and it keeps them from triggering the next round.
Whoopsie! Almost hurt myself on that.
The monsters come in, they come in one wave, but really there's a break after the first batch of them.
Well done. The unstable rift has been destroyed.
So they're pretty much dying as soon as they come out right now. Again, if I had a partner, then instead of me having to run down to the very end, the other guy could run.
I'll just leave this right here.
Our boss is on his way!
Twice, cut once. Don't ever notice this.
Now that one's stunnable.
Enemy's boss is down!
Now these guys, if you don't kill them early, they damage your Guardian quite a bit because they blow up when they they do AoE damage when they die. Grab these up. We'll go finish our wall pattern.
I guard the rift.
Whoopsie! Almost hurt myself on that.
Not enough money. So I'm going to sell this. I'm going to leave that one there. I'm going to sell this one.
Only what's possible.
I'll just leave this right here. Don't ever notice this.
And the last thing I'm going to put is or the last trap I put in is going to be a grinder right here, so that if any small shit comes by, sorry, small things come by, then that's your last line of defense to get them. And you stand pretty much right here in the middle and just go ham, shooting the dog meat out of everything. If you're good with your walls, I'm going to attempt it this time. And what I do is I force the things to run across in front of these. Now if you don't have all these traps yet, and you're absolutely brand new, then you'll get 3 stars pretty easily. If you just follow this 1, 2 right here, you put a slow trap down, just so that everything that comes out gets a little bit slowed down. And then you just fill the room with a double row of spikes. I don't have a good reason to burn this off right now, other than to burn this off right now. Now I want to have a slow trap right there, so that I remember where they're going to come up through at.
I'll never notice this.
And now that I've got my rift room all walled up, then I'm not worried about anything that might get past me. These guys are pretty big. But again, if you've only got spikes, spikes will get you this far. My Unchained bar is filling up pretty fast. I still have monsters down, or monsters out I mean, and the next wave's beginning. So after about level 10, it starts catching up to you. And if you don't have good combos, then your Unchained meter isn't going to fill up very fast, because as that example of picking those 2 up, it just moved my needle a little bit. If I would have had more, or I mean in the beginning, 2 lightning bolt pickups would have filled it. Those little red flames that are coming out right now, I don't like them. They're one of those things that smash walls.
No one can stop me. Please, stop on my account. Whoopsie, almost hurt myself on that.
One of those things got me. Ah well, better me than my guardian. I'll heal. If you find that you play a squishy character and you get beat up by those little lion guys, then it's definitely a help. As long as your guardian's got his sword down, he's going to be healing you. There's those little guys getting through. They'll get chewed up pretty fast. If you find a lot of things are attacking you, then it's alright to use your escape spells. Maybe you lose your guardian, maybe you don't, but you fall back.
One of our guardians has fallen.
Oh yeah, there he goes. Now the right side over there is safe. It's the left side that everybody's going to come down. And this is where the, somewhere in there is somebody that is going to smash my walls. Alright. Now, again with the, these guys right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that wall took some damage right there. You can kind of see it. Well, it's going to be repairing itself as long as I don't let it keep taking damage. And that's easy, just don't fight next to it.
Crossbow in the line.
I should have let that little guy go by. Because the guardians will get him.
I'll just leave this right here. Shock it to me, baby.
I need to sell that one. Oh well.
We'll never notice this. Whoopsie, almost hurt myself on that.
So now the we're gonna let these guys come into this room.
Our barricades are under attack.
Now if that's the guy that I think that he is. No. Oh no! Into the acid. That's gonna hurt my score. That stinking bear. You can buy your way back into the game.
Barricades are under attack.
Unstable rift is opening. Quick, destroy it. We have destroyed the unstable rift.
I'll just leave this right here. Never noticed this. Twice, not once. Wow, that's a lot of death.
So now I'm not even shooting anything. And most of the damage that they do is from my traps. And I can put down 20 more of them. And most of them are going to be right here in this room.
Our barricades are under attack. They've summoned a boss minion.
See, almost hurt myself on that. Twice, cut once. I'll just leave this right here. They'll never notice this.
So that's the boss minion that worries me the most in general. He smashes
The
walls.
boss minion is down.
And he signals the start of all the trolls.
That looks like it hurt.
And having the guys get all frozen right there. Oh man, that's so handy. Because each one of my... they get caught in the crossfire of the arcane bowling balls.
Our barricades are under attack.
If you use the mini-map very much, then you'll find that the yellow spots that show up from time to time, those are the things that are going to be the barricade smashers.
I still got it.
Now if you find that you can get enough time to get back into this room, it's worth the money.
Stop right there. Look out.
Oh, I missed. It's worth the money to throw down a guardian. Because right now I've got some, what, 7,000, 8,000 bucks. Now the trolls, they give me a lot of, the reason I took the troll slayer is because after level 20, it's the trolls that give me just a ton of grief. Ouch. Oh, can't get him on that. Gonna have to kill a few.
A guardian has fallen.
So those guys make it down the hallway, and they don't get shot in the face by the arcane bowling ball because of the shield. So it's the wall traps and the barrel bombs that do most of the damage to them. They get along here and they start speeding up because they're not slow anymore. So now I spread these out.
I'll just leave this right here.
There's no room to put one there. However, I want to keep them going slow through that as long as possible.
Whoopsie.
Same as here.
Myself on that.
Move away from the barricades!
That looks like it hurt.
So once you get your thing fully set up, I would say you kind of don't have to shoot anymore, but if you're going to get any points, then you pretty much have to.
Crossbow in the line.
If you're going to use spells that are linear, then this is one of the spots to stand to do well with that. When the monsters get close to the rift, they won't attack you anymore. So I'm definitely going to want to put a floor trap right there at the corner.
Okay, I am not leaving that.
Put an ice trap right here, I think.
I'll never notice.
There we go. Monsters still come through here, so we'll get that guy right there. That guy right there. Ouch. And if you stand next to your rift from now until the end, they'll stay pretty much full life. Your guardians aren't going to take any damage in this position. Whenever your spells are ready, you get in a really good place and you try firing them off. They will be extremely helpful here. That was a little closer than I wanted it to be. If you stun the shield wall guys, then it drops their shield for as long as they're stunned, and then they take full damage instead of partial. If you can't kill the fire elementals, they're going to come down this hallway here. They'll explode against your barricades, and that'll pretty much be the end of the mission right there.
Our barricades are under attack! They've destroyed our barricades! Enemies at the rift! The rift has been compromised!
So when it starts to melt, oof, I lost those ones. Gotta love to hate that guy.
I'll just leave this right here.
So when it starts to melt,
Are under attack!
it goes pretty fast.
Zippity-doo-dah! Feel it's stunning time.
So if I shoot the second guy, then my shots were going to chain into the shield guy that was in front. I'm going to let him go and focus on the guys behind him. Whoops. Pushing too many buttons. Oh yeah, so these are the things that are going to blow up my barricades.
Our barricades are under attack.
Come on. 5 stars would be...
Half our rift points remaining.
Damn it.
More enemies in the rift.
Oh, I know it. Oh, I'm not going to make 5 stars. So close. I didn't pop the wizards and that hung up my guardian. So anyway, you get a pretty good score. You get a lot of damage. Gotta love it when somebody calls me. If anybody ever wants to figure out how to get popular, then all you have to do is start trying to record a video on YouTube, and then all of a sudden your phone's going to start blowing up something ridiculous. Almost 25 waves. Hooray. I rehearsed this once, so I did the Hurt Dealer and Orcicide. I haven't done the Fire Fiends. I'll just pick up one of the side missions and just kill those guys, just to get rid of them. I'm not very high level, and 224 skulls. That sort of is a lot, sort of not a lot. As soon as you make it to 25, and you get 5 stars, then you get more. If you have a partner, you get a bigger bonus. But if you get a partner and he has weaker traps than you, it gets a lot harder to get farther along. So eventually the guy with the best traps should be having all of his traps out, and the guy who's not having the best traps, if you're partners in a clan, if you're friends, or if you're babysitting your little friend's character or something like that, trying to power mission through, he should sell his traps so that you can build in its place. Also, the guy with all the money, since the guardians are the same amount, then that's the guy that's going to be in charge of making sure there's a guardian in the front room. If you lose a guardian in the back room, or if he has a double wall, then you go back to the throne room and you leave your guy that's the little guy up in the front in the early parts, so that you can run to the back room and start laying down your wall pattern so that you can guard your rift. And after that, you just stay in the front and shoot like hell. Fall back when you have to, and that's pretty much my pattern. If anybody has any questions, then leave a comment. I'll do what I can to answer them. And Like I said, I haven't done these other ones, but that one's I get 5 stars on it sometimes. I'll do this one probably later in the week, and then I'll look at some of these other ones later on. They're kind of ridiculous. And then I'll cover what I put on my traps, and what to focus on to level up. So instead of trying to get all the traps as high as you can, you have a limited number of skulls for the week. Then I just focus on the ones that I use for the missions that I'm doing at the time. Example, I'm doing the endless baths, getting 4 stars on that, 5 stars. If I can get a partner, then I can get, I don't know, 500, 600 skulls from it. And that's definitely worth the half hour that it takes to get through that. And then you can afford to upgrade your other traps. Like I said, welcome to video games. It's a grind sometimes. And that's the end. Everybody have a good day playing Orcs Must Die. If you like tower defense, this one's a good one. Ciao.